Okay, so today we're going to solve inequalities. So essentially this is a combo of 7.1 and solving equations, which we've been doing for a while. Okay, so first we want to solve, and then we want to graph, and then we want to check, right? So here, even though it's a less than or equal to, we're just going to pretend it's an equal to, and we're going to put that line there. And we're trying to solve for x. So we're going to add 2.5 to both sides, and then we get 10.5 is less than or equal to x. So we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 9, 8. 10.5 is right here in the middle. We have a closed circle. I'm going to do this in a color. And we say that x, 10.5 is less than or equal to x, which means that x is bigger because, right, the mouth is eating the bigger number. So it's going to go this way. All right, and then let's check. So we're going to pick a number. Let's look at 12, right? So we have 8 is less than or equal to 12 minus 2.5. So if we do 12 minus 2.5, that's 9.5. 8 is less than or equal to 9.5. That is true. So we did it right. Okay, for number 2, we have our equal sign. We're going to do minus 4.2 because we're trying to solve for g. So we have g is less than 1.4. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, negative 1. 1.4 is going to be right here, a little less than a half. There's no equal sign there, so we have an open circle, and it's saying that g is less than, so it's smaller than, so we're going to have the arrow go this way. And then we need to check. So let's check 0, because 0 is in our highlighted area. So we have 0 plus 4.2 is less than 5.6. 4.2 is less than 5.6. That is true. So we know that we did it right. Alright, for example number 3, we're going to do some division. So we're trying to solve for h. So we're going to divide 4 on both sides. So we get h is greater than negative 4. So negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, and then we're going negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. So we have an open circle. H is eating the bigger number, so h is bigger. So we're going to go this way. And let's check negative 2. So is negative 2 greater than negative 4? Yes, it is, because it's less negative, right? I'd rather owe someone $2 than owe someone $4. So we did this one right. And then here, right, if you haven't noticed the pattern, here we added, subtracted, divided, we're going to multiply. So on both sides we're going to multiply, times 5, times 5. So we get 10 is greater than or equal to r. So we have 10, 11, 12, and then we're going down. So we have a closed circle. It's eating 10, which means that r is less than or equal to, right? So we're going to be going this way. And then let's check. Check 8, right? I'm just choosing. I could check 7, I could check 9. I'm just choosing 8. So we go back to the original. 2 is greater than or equal to 8 over 5. So you might be able to do 8.8 over 5 in your head, but if not, you can use a calculator. So we have 8 divided by 5 is 1.6. Is 2 greater than or equal to 1.6? Yes. So we know that we did it right. Let me show you an example of what happens if we check the wrong side, right? Check 12, right? 12 is on the other side. So you have 2 is greater than or equal to 12 over 5. 12 over 5 is 2.4. So 2 is greater than or equal to 2.4. Right, that's not true. So if we don't pick the right side, then the check is going to be done. Then the check won't work. All right, so here we have some two really important ones. So let's look at this. So, right, we're trying to solve for h, so we're going to divide by -7. We get h is greater than -6, -6, -5, -4, -7, -8, -9. So here we would have open circle, h is bigger, so we're going to go this way. And then let's check, right? Let's check -4. So we have -7 times -4 is greater than 42. So -7 times -4 is positive 28. It's greater than 42. So if we look at this, is 28 bigger than 42? No. So something's wrong. This doesn't work. So what the answer should be is it should actually be on the other side. And why is that? Because we have a new rule here. So I'm going to write this rule. Whenever you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number, reverse the inequality symbol. Right, this is super important. Right, I'm gonna do it in a different color so you can see how important it is. Okay, so if we go back here, what we should have done when we divided by -7 is we should have done h is less than -6. And then that would have given us this. And then let's check it again, right? Let's check -8. So -7 times -8 is greater than 42. 56 is greater than 42. So that's correct. All right, let's try this one now that we know our new rule. I'm just going to box this because it sort of blends in with the rest of the packet. This is like maybe one of the most important things in this packet. Okay, so here we're trying to solve for r. It's divided by 15, so we're going to multiply by 15 on both sides. Let's multiply by -15. So we have -45. We need to flip the sign because we did a negative number is less than or equal to r. So we have 45, 46, 47, and the other way is 44, 43, 42. And we have our filled in circle. And we're saying that -45 is less than or equal to r. So r is the bigger thing, right? The mouth is eating the bigger number. So it's going to be this way. And then let's check. So when we check, we go back to the original equation before we flip the sign. So let's check 42. 3 is less than or equal to -42 over 15. Or not, yeah. Oh, wait, I wrote this wrong. This is -45, -44, -43, -46, -47, -48. So I should be checking negative, let's check -47. But it's negative, so -47. So we have minus -47 over 15 is 3.1333. Okay, so, right, that's wrong because 3 is greater, so I did this wrong. So r is the bigger number. So if I'm going to think in my head, right, like 0 is greater than -45, so it should go the other way. Okay, so let's check this again. Check -43. So we have 3 is greater than or equal to -43 over 15. Negative 43 over 15 is 2 so this is greater than that. So we know that this is what it should be, right? So these are easy to get tripped up. Like I've gotten tripped up a few times. So just be very careful that you're checking. If you don't check, it's going to be very easy to mess up. Okay, so now we're going to write the verbal sentence as an inequality and then solve and graph. So this is stuff that you've sort of done a while back, right? Turning words into equations. Okay, so we have the quotient, right? That's a vocab word of y and negative 3 is greater than or equal to 12. So we have y over negative 3 is greater than or equal to 12. Now something that I want to note real quick is the reason why here, right, we multiplied and divided for examples 3 and 4, and we didn't have to flip the sign, but that's because we did positive numbers. See, here we divided by 4, and here we multiplied by 5, and those are both positive numbers, so we didn't have to switch the sign. But in 5 and 6, we had to multiply and divide by negative numbers, so that's why we switched the sign. Okay, so we're trying to solve for y, so we're going to multiply by negative 3 on both sides, right? So we're going to have to switch the sign. Y is less than or equal to negative 36. So we have negative 36, negative 35, negative 34, negative 37, negative 38, negative 39. We have our closed circle. And then y is less than or equal to negative 36. So if it's less than, then it's going to be this way. And let's just check to make sure I did it right, because as you can see, I messed up before. So let's try negative 39. And we're going to go back to the original equation. So if negative 39 over negative 3 is greater than or equal to 12. So negative 39 divided by negative 3 is positive 13. Positive 13 is greater than or equal to 12, so I know that I picked the correct side of this inequality, right? It should be going towards the left. Okay, the difference between b and 12 is less than negative 5. So here, this one isn't multiplying and dividing, it's our normal adding and subtracting, so we're going to add 12 to both sides because we're trying to solve for b. We get b is less than 7. So we have 7, 8, 9, 6, 5, 4, open circle, and it's less than, and then let's check. We're going to check 5. So 5 minus 12 is less than negative 5. So 5 minus 12 is negative 7. Negative 7 is more negative than negative 5, right? If I owe someone $7, that's more than if I owe them negative $5, right? That's more in the negative. So I did this correct. And nice. So this one is being very careful, right? Making sure that you are putting the order correctly, right? The difference of b and 12. It would be wrong if you did 12 minus b. So you just got to be very careful not to mix up the words, not to get them confused in your head. All right, 2 more. We have tried these. I would recommend pausing the video and trying them and then coming back. So if you want to pause the video, you can. And here we go. So we're trying to solve for h, so we're going to divide by negative 6 on both sides. Negative 12 divided by negative 6 is positive 2. We flip the sign, h. So we have 2, 3, 4, 1, 0, negative 1. We have our open circle. 2 is less than h, so that means h could be 3 or 4. And then let's check. Let's check 4. So we have negative 12 is greater than negative 6 times 4. So negative 12 is greater than negative 24, and that's true, right? Negative 12 is greater than negative 24 because this is an even more negative number. And then our last one, hopefully you paused it, right? We're going to solve for h. So it's negative 12 plus h. So we got to get rid of this negative 12. We're going to add 12 to both sides. So we get h is less than or equal to 20. Notice that we don't change the sign because we're not multiplying or dividing, right? We're just adding. So it doesn't matter what we add or subtract. We keep the sign the same. So we have 20, 21, 22, 19, 18, 17. We have an open circle, sorry, a closed circle. I said open, but I drew close. It's closed circle because the equal sign right there. It's saying h is less than or equal to 20. So like 19 is less than 20. Right, so I'm going to draw it that way. And then I'm going to check. Let's check 17. So I have negative 12 plus 17 is less than or equal to 8, right? So I'm just plugging the 17 into this h. Negative 12 plus 17 is 5. 5 is less than or equal to 8, so I know that I did it correctly. All right? So this is pretty much the same as the last lesson, but now we're involving like one-step equations, right? Like solving equations. And then you have to remember this rule. If you multiply or divide by an inequality, you need to reverse the sign, right? So don't forget that, because it's going to trip you up and it's going to come up again in the future.